Alrighty, thank you everybody for tuning in to the 15th iteration of the Konoha Companion. This is Joshua, and I'm your Konoha Companion, as always. And on this episode, we're going to be covering Season 1, Episode 15 of Naruto, entitled Zero Visibility, the Sharingan Shatters. And before we dive too deeply into the episode, first I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what happened on the previous episode in my own words. Basically, at the last moment, Naruto comes in to save the day after Zabuza and Haku ambush Team 7, and he winds up trapped in the Crystal Ice Mirror Jutsu with Sasuke. And man, in retrospect, not really a whole lot happened in this episode. There was a lot of dialogue. We got some of Haku's backstory. Haku was saved from homelessness and potential death by Zabuza, so now he lives his life to make Zabuza's dreams a reality. It's also revealed that Haku has basically been trying to beat Naruto and Sasuke into submission instead of kill them. But they won't submit, so he's going to have to kill them. And that's where we're at. And so this episode starts with Naruto and Sasuke getting hit with Haku's attack within the Crystal Ice Mirror Dome. And Haku stops the attack for a second, and Naruto and Sasuke both crumble to the ground. Naruto sits up and questions, where is he? Where's the needle attack coming from? Are they clones? And Naruto stands up and says to Sasuke, we've got to find the real one. Which one is it? And Haku tells them that they can look into every mirror as hard as they like, but they'll never figure out the secret. And Naruto yells, oh yeah, and casts his Shadow Clone Jutsu. And Sasuke yells for him to stop, but it's already too late. And Naruto leaps into action and goes to smash all the mirrors with his individual Shadow Clones. And it then shows us a slow motion take of what is happening, and it shows Haku is actually leaping from mirror to mirror to do his attack. And he takes out all the Shadow Clones, and he sets Naruto back on his ass. And Haku boasts that these mirrors only reflect my image, allowing me to transport myself at light speed. Through my eyes, you appear to be moving in slow motion. And so, this kind of validates what we just saw, where we see Haku leaping from mirror to mirror, and it's basically super duper fast. I don't know if it's necessarily light speed, but he's definitely talking up a big game. And how do you deal with that? You know, do you just like flail and hope for the best, or he's got to. There's only so many angles he can be coming from, right? You could try and maybe counterattack him as he goes for Naruto or something. I don't know. At this point, Kakashi gasps and remarks, I knew it, it's a bloodline trait of Kekkei Genkai. And Zabuza laughs at Kakashi's realization. And Sakura asks what a Kekkei Genkai is. And Kakashi remarks, it's like my Sharingan, he inherited it. Even I can't copy that jutsu. There's no way to destroy it and no way to stop him. And so Kakashi at this point has clearly realized the seriousness of the situation, and so should you. It takes us back to Sasuke and Naruto remarks, I couldn't break through, so what? He's not going to stop me. I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to die here because I have a dream, and no one's going to take it away from me. Someday, I'll be respected in my village. That's my dream, to be the greatest Hokage. And I just eat this shit up. I love that Naruto has a strong motivating force, right? He knows what his why is, and he's never going to come off of that. He's so seriously determined. It's going to carry him through the entire series. Haku responds, dreams? This bridge will be the battlefield where our dreams collide. Now, I must fight for my dreams, just as you fight for yours. Please do not blame me. I fight for someone who is precious to me. I live for him, and I face death for him, so that his dream may come a reality. That is my dream, and for the sake of that dream, if I must, I will act as a shinobi and take your lives. And it's clear at this point that he's talking about Zabuza, right? And Naruto and Sasuke both kind of smirk, and the title screen comes in, and Naruto reads, "Zero visibility, the Sharingan Shatters." And this is right where the previous episode had ended. And it takes us back to the bridge, and Sakura yells for Naruto and Sasuke to take Haku out, and that she knows they can do it. And Kakashi yells for her to stop and not to push them, and this clearly confuses Sakura. And Kakashi remarks, even if they somehow found a way to overcome the mirror jutsu, they still couldn't defeat this ninja. And Sakura asks him how he can be so sure, and I'm curious of the same thing at this point, right? And this gives Zabuza a nice big belly laugh, and Kakashi continues, they have the desire to win, but they don't have the instinct to kill. That boy is a whole other breed. He lives for pain. He thrives on it. And Zabuza laughs at this and remarks, exactly. Your village has become complacent. Your trainees will never learn the most important lesson of all, to kill the feelings in their own hearts, to crush an opponent mercilessly, to destroy with no emotion or regret. And goddamn, these dudes are savages. I was hella wrong about them being soft. They finna kill everyone and leave acting like nothing happened. No feelings at all. And Sakura is obviously taken aback by this and asks, but then Sensei, what are we gonna do? Please tell me. And Kakashi then thinks, I could make a break to save Naruto and Sasuke, but he'd slay the bridge builder. If I use shadow clones, nah, he'd just match them with water clones. I'd be wasting chakra. So I have no choice. It's mere Zabuza here and now. I'll have to do this the hard way. And oh shit, here we go. Kakashi and Zabuza finna do the do round 2. And Kakashi then reaches up to pull up his headband, and Sakura thanks the Sharingan. And Zabuza laughs and remarks, Sharingan, you're no fun, Kakashi, using the same old trick. And Zabuza then rushes Kakashi and tries to stab him in the Sharingan eye with a kunai. But Kakashi blocks the attack with his free hand, but it does stab his hand. It literally shows the blood dripping off the kunai onto the ground. And Sakura yells, Sensei, no. And Kakashi says to Zabuza, if it's just an old trick, then why did you just stop me? And Zabuza laughs and says, let your opponent see your jutsu too many times and he'll find a way to use it against you. And Kakashi responds, then count yourself lucky. You're the only man alive who's seen my Sharingan twice. Show's over. There won't be a third time. And damn, this fool Kakashi took his first draw in a fight with the Sharingan against Zabuza. This dude really is good. Kakashi is ?0-1 when he busts out the Sharingan. So now he's got a blemished record thanks to Zabuza, which is a big deal whenever you're undefeated. Zabuza at this point laughs and says, even if you did defeat me, you have no chance against Haku. And Sakura thinks, is that possible? Is that boy in the mask as strong as Kakashi Sensei? And I certainly hope at this point that Zabuza is bluffing here, because that's bad news for Sasuke and Naruto and really everybody involved. Kakashi also foreshadowed this when he was telling Naruto there are ninja younger than the squadlings but stronger than himself, and I'll be damned if he didn't beckon that straight into existence with this character Haku. Zabuza continues as it cuts back to him and Haku's past, and he goes, when I found him, he was just a street kid, but I trained him in the most advanced ninja techniques. I taught him everything I know. Plus he had special abilities he refined on his own. The boy developed quickly. Soon he could face the most powerful enemies, outnumbered in total darkness. It didn't matter. He could strike with perfect accuracy. He cared nothing for his own life or the lives of others. And at this point, it's showing Haku take out an entire unit of a half dozen or so guys without them ever standing a chance. And Zabuza continues, he'd become a unique fighting machine, a shinobi. And it takes us back to the bridge where Zabuza continues, in the end, his power surpassed even mine. His bloodline trait, the Kekkei Genkai, cannot be defeated by anyone. I've created a tool that can destroy anything that stands in my way, unlike the useless punks who follow you around. And Zabuza is a grade A asshole for this. Homie is not a tool, he's a person. This dude needs his ass beat. And at this point it flashes us back to Naruto and Sasuke inside the Crystal Ice Mirror Dome. And Naruto is yelling, I didn't get to him. Then I'll try it again, as many times as it takes. And he casts his Shadow Clone Jutsu. And Sasuke yells for him to stop again, but again, there's just no stopping Naruto at this point. And the cycle from before of Haku easily slaying all of the Shadow Clones and easily rejecting Naruto's attempt in its entirety is rinsed and repeated. Sasuke watched this go down for a sec just before Haku started attacking him as well. And it shows Haku whizzing back and forth and hitting a droplet of water like he's moving so fast that he's getting from one side of the dome to the other and back before the droplet can even fall. And Sasuke and Naruto both land on the ground and Haku stops his onslaught temporarily. Naruto sets up and exclaims, how is he doing that? And Sasuke then thinks, it was barely there, but I saw it. And it flashes back to the droplet of water getting hit back and forth. And he continues thinking, I could see the trails and follow his moves. And Naruto gathers his might and yells one more time. And casts his Shadow Clone Jutsu and starts attacking. And this time as he does it, Sasuke kicks a puddle of water into the air to make a big splash. And Haku is slaying all of the Naruto clones, and he says, don't you see it's useless? And he then stops the attack, and Sasuke and Naruto both fall to the ground. And Sasuke gets on one knee and thinks, I can see his speed, but that doesn't mean I can match it. He then thinks, the water, it's being repelled. What if I try something else? Not water, but yes, now it's my move. It then flashes us to Zabuza and Kakashi having their standoff, and Zabuza laughs and says, you think those Genin punks together can beat Haku? He's the ultimate, a battle tool of destruction. And Kakashi sharply interjects, are you finished bragging? You're starting to put me to sleep. Let's finish this now. And he raises his headband, revealing his Sharingan eye. And Zabuza responds, fine, but there's one more thing you should know. A little more bragging, as you say. Did you really think our last battle was just win or lose? That I took your attacks like some rank Genin? And it then flashes back to when Kakashi hit Zabuza with the water vortex jutsu and slammed him against the tree. And it shows Haku in the tree off to the side. And Zabuza then continues, Haku was there, hiding, watching every move you made, studying your Sharingan. Haku can see a jutsu once and immediately devise a lethal counterattack. It's one of his gifts. I've been waiting to see the look on your face when you realize your Sharingan has become worthless. You once said, the same jutsu won't work on me twice. Well, now I'm telling you that. And man, this dude Haku is like a secret weapon, man. The guy is giving Zabuza all of the competitive advantages, and he's still over there handling two people on his own. And at this point, Zabuza casts his hidden miss jutsu, and Zabuza disappears right in front of Kakashi as the mist begins to roll in from the jutsu. And Kakashi thinks, this is it. And the beat builds, and the mist gets insanely thick, and Tazuna thinks to himself, what's going on? The mist is so thick. Visibility is 0. And Sakura then calls out for her sensei, and Kakashi tells her to stay with Tazuna. Sakura then thinks, I have to stay strong and believe in Sasuke, Naruto, and Kakashi sensei. She then says aloud, I have my job to do no matter what it takes. And she runs over to Tazuna, who sees her and is clearly relieved to have her at his side. And Sakura then draws her kunai and says, follow my lead, Mr. Tazuna, and whatever happens, stay close. Tazuna agrees, saying, all right, I'll stay right behind you. And shout out to Sakura, always holding it down, always making sure that the primary objective is being accomplished so that Sasuke and Naruto can go do fun shit for our entertainment. It then takes us back to Haku in the Crystal Ice Mirror Dome, and he's thinking to himself, I know you need me, Zabuza. I'll finish them off quickly. And in this moment, Naruto yells and casts his Shadow Clone Jutsu, and Haku thinks, he just won't give up. And Haku begins slashing all of Naruto's Shadow Clones, and Sasuke casts a Fireball Jutsu and blows it in the direction of where Haku is about to be. Right, like he led him, like he was throwing a football to a receiver. And this actually forces Haku to change trajectory mid-hop between mirrors, and he actually misses the Naruto clone that he had in his sights while he was moving just then. He was ultimately so occupied with the Fireball Jutsu that he couldn't attack for a second, but ultimately Haku makes it back to safety in the mirror and never even really slows down with his attack from there. He continues to attack Naruto and Sasuke to great effect and with tremendous speed. And you can hear Haku's internal dialogue, and he's clearly frustrated with their persistence. And he thinks it shouldn't be taking this long to defeat them. And Sasuke casts another Fireball Jutsu, and Haku, on this one, it literally grazes the bottom of his outfit, leaving it singed. And Naruto falls to the ground, but Sasuke is clearly getting more competent. And Sasuke then thinks to himself, ha, got him that time. I'm starting to get the timing. And he smirks. And it then takes us back to the bridge, and Kakashi is standing alone, and he thinks, it's the hidden mist jutsu, but this mist is too thick even for Zabuza. How can he fight in it? And suddenly several shuriken come flying in, which Kakashi hears, and he turns and blocks them all. And Zabuza's voice can then be heard remarking, very skillful, as I'd expect from Kakashi, the Sharingan warrior. And it reveals that Zabuza is right behind Kakashi. And he has a hand sign cast already, and his eyes are closed. And Kakashi remarks on how his eyes are closed internally, and Zabuza then continues, but next time you see me will be the last time you see anything. Without your Sharingan, you're nothing. And Kakashi questions aloud, what? And Zabuza answers, you wanted me to believe you could see through anything, even through time. And it flashes back to when Zabuza was pinned to the tree during the first fight after having been blasted with the Water Vortex Jutsu before he could even get off his own. And he's pinned to the tree with Kakashi's kunai. And he looks up and asks Kakashi, how? Can you see into the future? And Kakashi responds, yes, this is your last battle, ever. And it flashes us back to the bridge, and Zabuza continues, but your prediction was wrong. I'm still alive, so you're a fraud, Kakashi. You can't read the future, and you can't read me. The Sharingan is just a cheap trick that makes you seem more powerful than you are. I know now your Sharingan has two separate elements. The piercing eye, which sees every detail, and the hypnotic eye, which mesmerizes your opponent. Employing these abilities, you can execute multiple jutsu in quick succession to make it seem like you could see the future. And it then flashes back to the fight they had on the water, and Zabuza continues, "First, with the piercing eye, you copy my movements instantly. This replication of movements made me doubt my own thoughts. Once I was shaken, you infiltrated my mind, waiting for the slightest flutter to anticipate my actions, seeking out any hints to my next move." And it then shows during the first fight where Zabuza says, "Ha, all you're doing is copying me like a monkey." And they both say, "You can't beat me with cheap tricks. I'll crush you," simultaneously. And, obviously this shocks Zabuza, and it shows Zabuza kind of timidly throwing his hand signs. And he continues, "You time it precisely, waiting for the right moment. The instant my mind becomes unfocused, you create a new illusion. With your hypnotic eye, you induce me to make hand signs while you're making the same signs. So you seem to be copying me when actually you're controlling my movements." And this is a really neat take. I'm real curious if this is how it actually works, or if this is just Zabuza and Haku's best attempt at figuring it out. It then shows Kakashi casting the water vortex jutsu, and it then flashes us back to the bridge, and Zabuza continues, "Now that I know this, a very simple plan can defeat you. First, neutralize your piercing eye with zero visibility mist." And suddenly Kakashi has to dodge to avoid an attack, where Zabuza comes running in, tries to hit him with a big sword. And Kakashi thinks, "The mist is slowing my reaction time." And Zabuza then continues, "Next, neutralize your hypnotic eye by keeping my own eyes closed. You can't bore into my mind if you can't look into my eyes." And Kakashi kind of coyly responds, "Brilliant, except with your eyes closed, you can't see me either." And Zabuza responds, "Have you forgotten who I am, Kakashi? I'm the demon of the hidden mist, master of the silent kill. I can take you out by sound alone." And Kakashi's gaze widens, and we flash back to Naruto and Sasuke in the Crystal Ice Mirror Dome. And Haku thinks to himself, "He read my movements. That's not possible." And Haku is starting to recognize that he's in deep shit with these two. And Naruto says, "I was so close, but I couldn't quite get to him." And Sasuke asks Naruto if he can do his shadow clone jutsu again. And Naruto responds, "Huh? Of course. Nothing can stop me. Believe it." And Sasuke thinks to himself, he doesn't want to show it, but he's exhausted. The shadow clone jutsu uses up so much chakra, but thanks to him, I figured it out. I know how to break through. And let's also, guys, not forget that Naruto was supposed to be staying home today because he was short on chakra, because he's been overtraining, and he also had to open a can of whoop ass on a couple of thugs at Tazina's house already. So he started the day with less chakra than what he needed to. And he's already had to use some chakra at a previous fight earlier in the day. And now he's running through his chakra doing these shadow clone jutsus, and Sasuke is ultimately recognizing this. Haku then thinks, "The human eye cannot track my movements. It must have been a coincidence." And if Haku doesn't realize he's in shit with Sasuke, at least Sasuke knows he's got Haku in shit, right? Like, at least one of these parties know what's really going on. At this point, the mirrors start to glow, and Sasuke throws several hand signs and yells to Naruto, "Naruto, run for it. Get out of here and attack from the outside. Hurry." And Naruto kind of turns and tells him, "All right, you got it." And he makes a break for one of the openings between the mirrors in the dome. And Haku exclaims, "You cannot escape." And Naruto gets knocked down by an attack, but he gets right back up and starts sprinting and yells, "You think you can keep me here? Forget it. And Haku goes to stop him again, and Sasuke sees it and times up a fireball jutsu for Haku's ass. And Haku ultimately is able to avoid the fireball and sends a Senbon back at Sasuke. And just as Naruto is about to hit the opening between the mirrors, Haku appears in front of him and backhands Naruto back into his place and then recedes back into the nearest mirror. And this dude Haku is a bad man. I mean, really, these guys cannot get out. He's got a Kekkei Genkai. He's the brains behind Zabuza's whole plan with Kakashi. He's the one who saved Zabuza's life last time. Man, Haku, low-key MVP. For the bad guy team, at least. At this point, Naruto and Sasuke are both on a knee in the center of the dome. And Naruto stands up and says, "I couldn't get past him." And Sasuke says, "That was good, Naruto," and yanks a Senbon out of his shoulder. And stands up and questions, "One more time?" And Naruto agrees, "Yeah, let's do it." And Sasuke then thinks in regards to Haku, there must be a limit to his chakra too. I can feel him slowing down. Naruto and Sasuke both make breaks in different directions for gaps in the dome. And Haku says, "No more games. I need to stop this now." And he leaps from the mirror, and as he throws his Senbon, he explains, "This time you'll stay down." And he tags both Naruto and Sasuke real good with the Senbon. Both of them get needles stuck in them fully, not just grazing shots that he's been hitting them with previous. It then takes us back to Kakashi alone, who is thinking, an enemy you can't see and can't hear. It's been a long time since I faced anyone this tough. And Sasuke and Naruto, I don't know if they can hold out. Stay calm, think. Where will he strike? And it suddenly clicks for Kakashi, and he turns and exclaims, "The bridge builder." And it takes us to Sakura and Tazuna standing behind Sakura, and suddenly Zabuza appears behind Tazuna, right? So it's Sakura, Tazuna, Zabuza. And Zabuza comes rushing in to land the kill strike, and suddenly Kakashi lands in between them to save the day. And Zabuza yells, "Too late," and slashes his sword, and blood goes spraying, and you hear Sakura scream, and the episode ends, right? And it's a neat way to end the episode. I'm really curious to see who Zabuza got, or if Kakashi got Zabuza, or what the deal is. I know he definitely came rushing in, and there was definitely a slashing noise, and there was definitely blood that went flying. I love that Sasuke was finally able to show off some of those legendary Uchiha skills. No human eye can track Haku's speed, and yet Sasuke was able to do so. I love that he's getting closer and closer to hitting Haku with that fireball jutsu. Hopefully Naruto's chakra doesn't run out before he's able to actually land a good one and get them the upper hand in the fight. Sasuke has also noted that Haku is slowing down, and there's a general idea going around that they may be able to just outlast Haku, right? Like Haku may spend up all his chakra before he's able to actually kill these guys. And it's possible, right? I mean, Naruto is already known to be a chakra monster with even more chakra than Kakashi, so he may be able to just outlast Haku, literally. But then again, Haku is apparently stronger than Zabuza, and Zabuza's hella strong. Again, he's the only person to ever see Kakashi's Sharingan twice and live, and Haku's stronger than him, so we got a real fight on our hands. Zabuza's a goon for fighting this full Kakashi one-on-one in the mist that's so dense that neither of them can see, so that he can negate Kakashi's Sharingan advantage. Like, man, what a goon. Wasn't playing around about that one bit. I love that Zabuza explained the Sharingan is working with two parts. The piercing part that predicts movement, and a hypnotic part that makes it so that he fools the person under the eye's gaze into doing the movements he makes as he leads the dance. I'm also curious if this is how it actually works. This is the first real big explanation about the Sharingan we've gotten to this point, and it's coming from someone who isn't familiar with it and is doing their best to understand it on the fly after the fact, right? But Zabuza is clearly clever-witted and sees what's going on. I love when Zabuza brought in the mist, he actually went for Tazuna instead of Kakashi. I've been calling for this for like several episodes, right? Like, keep them distracted. Go take out the bridge builder. Your job's done. So they went for it. I love that they actually went for that. It didn't go anywhere. Now I know. And I do feel like in that circumstance, though, a couple of water clones and a counterattack could have gotten it done. But that's neither here nor there. And with that, I can put a bow on this episode. I really, really appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. I'm really looking forward to going over the next episode of Naruto with you guys. And again, I'm Joshua. I'm your Konoha companion. Go participate in the comments, like and share the memes. Be friendly, guys. The point of this thing is to be friends. And I really appreciate everybody coming together and checking out this podcast. That's obviously a thing that is a shared interest of us all. And with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.